What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and in this video we're going to be taking an in-depth look at Firearm Specialization. Now this is one of the more mysterious stats of Armored Core 6, and I've seen a lot of misinformation surrounding the stat going around. I've seen people say that it affects the hand missile tracking in addition to firearm tracking. I've seen people say that it only affects hardlock and it doesn't have an impact on softlock. And so what I wanted to do was put together a video where we actually look at a couple different scenarios involving Firearm Specialization along with a couple of different FCSs. And so that is exactly what we are going to do today, present you with the evidence and let you decide for yourself. So this first test is with the P10 Wrecker. And now showing hardlock. This next is with the P10 Nacht. Now with hardlock. Moving on to the P05 and the Wrecker. And now with hardlock. And now the P05 and the Nacht. Now with hardlock. And lastly, here's a test looking at the Wrecker versus the Nacht at a more long range. This was the original set, but it's kind of harder to see the reticle here.
That's all my boost.
So in conclusion, I think it's clear that Firearm Specialization does have an impact on your weapon's ability to track the target, especially when that target is a fast mover. In the test we were doing, the target wasn't particularly fast. They were using the gill boosters, and even then, we were seeing an inability to keep up when we had poor Firearm Specialization, and especially so when we were looking at the hardlock example. Now, I think from the evidence, it's clear that there is an impact on both hardlock and softlock. Obviously, softlock is going to benefit from this more because hardlock has a innate penalty to its ability to track already. So even with a really good FCS and really good Firearm Specialization, we still saw hardlock starting to leave behind. But at the same time, I don't think that means you should ignore this stat while you're using hardlock. It's still clearly an important stat, and I do think it's going to be most beneficial to ACs that are fighting in the medium to long range, especially those with high velocity weapons, things like lasers, to really make sure those shots are going to hit. Lastly, I definitely want to clear up the misconception. There is nothing about this that impacts missiles. Missiles are all completely dictated by guidance. We have a stat specifically that dictates the tracking performance of missiles, and Firearm Specialization does not impact this. the same way that you can actually do manual aim and still lock on with missiles. Once you have locked on with the missile, this is going to be the only thing that matters. So, in conclusion, if you're using missiles, you don't need firearm specialization. If you're using hard lock, it can still be beneficial. And if you're using soft lock and you're at a medium to long range, that is going to be where it's going to be most important, since the close range type fights, you're going to be able to just be right on top of the target anyway, and so it won't be as much of a factor. Either way, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hopefully, after seeing the evidence, you make your own decisions on how important it is to you, because obviously this is largely going to depend on the type of AC and type of weaponry that you're running. But either way, there was a lot of misconceptions and misinformation that was getting out there, and a lot of people were curious about this, so I wanted to provide actual evidence on how it works. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time.